Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is continuing the bounce from this exact level of support, while the price is actually getting closer towards short-term resistance. But on top of that, Ethereum is also getting very close to a major breakout, alongside multiple other altcoins, which I'll talk about later in the video, so make sure to watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a really quick update here on the daily Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, the price of Bitcoin is still technically within the bullish trend, forming bullish price structure, for example, higher lows and higher highs. But obviously, as I said around 1.5 weeks ago here on the channel, we do have this bearish divergence, which has been playing out over the last 1.5 weeks as expected, in the form of mostly choppy sideways price action. Because usually when we see a bearish divergence, the most common outcomes are either choppy sideways price action or potentially a bit of a pullback in the price of Bitcoin as two of the most common outcomes from a bearish divergence. Because essentially a bearish divergence basically just tells us that we're losing some of the bullish momentum from this bullish trend, but we have not necessarily confirmed a bearish trend reversal. And so once again, as I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, I would only start to flip more bearish again on Bitcoin in terms of the trend here on the daily chart if we see a massive bullish reversal here in the DXY, which right now has not happened. And so once again, as I've been saying since all the way back down here when the price of Bitcoin was well below $30,000, while the DXY is trending in the bearish direction, forming lower highs and lower lows, this is basically telling us that the price of Bitcoin is likely going to continue to trend in the bullish direction, forming higher lows and higher highs. But remember, this is talking about the trends on the daily time frame, not every single individual price movement. Obviously, during a bullish trend, we can see some small bearish movements here and there. But once again, I would only start to flip more bearish again in terms of the trend, as in lower highs and lower lows in Bitcoin, if we see a strong bullish reversal in the DXY, which right now has not happened. And so once again, in terms of the overall trend at the moment on the daily chart, as I've been saying for a while now on the channel, I'm still very much bullish, but of course, due to that bearish divergence, we just took a bit of a short-term pause from that bullish trend. And now, if we end up seeing a breakout above this previous high in the daily candle closes, forming a new higher high in the price, that basically invalidates this previous bearish divergence right here, but could still potentially form a new bearish divergence, which we would have to reconfirm. Because in that scenario, of course, the price could be making a new higher high, while the RSI could still be sitting in lower highs on the daily time frame. And so once again, if we see a slight breakout to the upside in the price of Bitcoin, putting in a slightly new higher high, once again, that could potentially just form a new bearish divergence later on, but it would essentially invalidate this previous bearish divergence. And so essentially, if we confirm a daily candle close above these previous daily candle closes, setting a new higher high in place in the daily candle closes, then that will basically be a signal telling us that we are resuming the bullish trend on the daily time frame, and we are no longer seeing just a short-term pause from that bullish trend, which is what we've seen over the last 1 to 2 weeks as expected. And if we're taking a look at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously the price of Bitcoin is continuing that bounce exactly from this line of support, which I talked about a while ago on the channel. Because first of all, this line of support started as resistance all the way back here during November, and then as usual, when we break out above resistance, that usually flips into new support, like what we saw just here around 1.5 weeks ago. And then just a couple of days ago now, we did see another perfect bounce from this line of support, which was sitting at around 40.8k, but is now sitting closer towards around 41.2k. And as for short-term support and resistance, of course, the price of Bitcoin just recently, over the last few hours, has actually broken above this area of resistance, which was sitting in between around 43.1k to 43.4k. And so as of right now, this area right here should now act as new support in case we see a short-term pullback. Once again, I would expect support in that price range. And as for short-term resistance, if the price continues further to the upside, like it has been doing recently, then of course we should expect short-term resistance around these previous highs, which is sitting at around 44.5k, going up towards around 44.7k. And so basically 44.7k is the level to break, because obviously if we break out above that level, we're setting a new yearly high in the price of Bitcoin. And typically when we break out above a previous yearly high, of course the price usually continues running a little higher. But of course right now we have not yet seen a breakout above that resistance, so right right now, that price range is still acting as a bit of short-term resistance that we need to pay attention to. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, obviously over the last one day, just recently, the price of Bitcoin has finally hit that area of liquidations, which was sitting at around 43.6K to 43.8K. And obviously, this is a price range that I've been talking about over and over again here on the channel. Obviously, since all the way back here, close to a week ago, there was really two major areas of liquidity that I was pointing out on the liquidation heat map. First of all, we had that level of liquidity at around 40,500. And like I said, close to a week ago, it's likely the price of Bitcoin could hit both of these levels. First of all, around 40,500, which is exactly where we hit before we saw a bounce in the price of Bitcoin. And then once we began that bounce in the price of Bitcoin, once again, as I was saying here on the channel, we had that area of liquidations, that area of liquidity sitting in between around 43.6K to 43.8K, which was attracting the price of Bitcoin towards that buy zone right there. And so now that Bitcoin has hit those exact areas of liquidity that I've been talking about here on the channel, of course, right now we don't really have any new liquidity zones here in the liquidation heat map. But obviously, as this Bitcoin liquidation heat map continues to evolve and add new levels of liquidity, of course, I'll be sharing that here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on these important updates. And just before getting into the Ethereum charts and other important altcoins, if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin, whether we're going up or down, then personally, I take these trades over on Bybit. And so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link to make a Bybit account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or you cannot KYC on Bybit, then there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link to make a Bitflex account and deposit $100 worth of crypto and to make one trade over on Bitflex, you can get 10 USDT completely for free. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trade, then you might as well check out those links down below this video to get set up ready to go on an exchange to claim those extra bonuses in the meantime. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily time frame, and right now the price of ETH is technically still playing out this bearish divergence. But once again, a bearish divergence does not necessarily mean that we're going to reverse into a bearish trend. Of course, it can just mean we're taking a bit of a short-term pause during a bullish trend before potentially continuing the bullish trend later on. And right now, when it comes to support on the daily time frame, we have this significant area of support sitting in between around 2.1K going up towards around 2150, which is exactly where we've seen multiple bounces recently as expected. But remember, at least while this bearish divergence is still currently active here on the daily ETH to US dollar chart, this basically just means at the moment we are lacking bullish momentum, at least in the somewhat shorter term relative to the daily time frame. But once again, this can still occur within the bullish trend. And as for some other support levels, looking at this Fibonacci retracement tool on the 8-hour time frame, once again, we have this Fibonacci level at around 2150, and below that, we have a lot more support down towards around 2010 to 2020 in case we saw a break below this support here on the daily time frame, which obviously right now has not happened. And just taking another look at the 8-hour time frame, and what we can also see here, which I talked about in my last video, is a falling wedge pattern, which is a bullish pattern forming for the price of ETH. Because historically speaking, a falling wedge pattern breaks out to the upside roughly 2/3 of the time, and a falling wedge breaks out to the downside roughly 1/3 of the time. And so obviously it's not impossible to see a break to the downside from a falling wedge pattern. That is not impossible, but that is simply the less likely scenario. But either way, of course, in order to confirm the technical price target, we simply need to see a breakout above resistance in order to see the bullish price target come into play, which is sitting at the top of the wedge, close to 2.4K. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking around a 6% move to the upside in the price of ETH, which could be coming next if we confirm a breakout above this resistance, which right now has not yet happened. And so personally, if we do end up seeing a confirmed breakout to the upside above this resistance to set up that technical price target to the upside, then personally, I will be taking this breakout trade as a long position with my usual trading strategy of setting a stop loss just below the point of invalidation, which will be a break back below that line line, obviously that would invalidate the breakout. And as usual, when it comes to my personal trading strategy, if the price continues further into profits, of course, I just move my stop loss further into profits, or at the very least at my break-even price, my entry price. And as for take profits for this potential long position, if we first confirm a breakout to the upside, of course, I will place a take profit at around the technical price target, in fact, just before the technical price target. And so basically, if this pattern breaks out and completes and hits the price target, of course, that will trigger the take profit and close a significant amount of the trade. But I'll keep a small amount of the trade open in case we continue further to the upside. But by that point, I would have closed most of the trade. But remember, considering the price has not yet confirmed a breakout, of course, there's still a possibility we could see another rejection from this resistance. So at least for now, I have not yet entered any trade when it comes to this breakout move. And so right now, there is still time to get set up, ready to go on an exchange. Once again, if you use those links down below this video to make an account, you can claim those extra bonuses only if you use those links down below this video. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term, looking at the 2-hour time frame, right now the price of ETH is also potentially forming a W pattern, also known as a double bottom pattern here on the 2-hour time frame. And in order to confirm the pattern and the price target, we need to see a confirmed breakout above this horizontal line of resistance, which is sitting at around 2250. And if we end up seeing that happening, if we see a confirmed breakout above 2250 with candle closes above that level, that would set up a technical price target at around 2350 to 2360. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking around a 5% move to the upside. Once again, if we first confirm a breakout above this resistance. And so this is also potentially another short-term trade we could take. Of course, not financial advice. I'm just pointing out these potential trades we could take. But obviously, overall, here on the 2-hour time frame, even if we see these breakouts to the upside, overall, over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we've seen a lot of choppy sideways price action, once again, as a result of that bearish divergence here on the daily time frame. But believe it or not, you can make a lot of money in crypto in choppy sideways price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, taking a quick look at some altcoins. First of all, looking at Solana against the US dollar here on the 4-hour chart. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of Solana is running into a bit of short-term resistance, which is sitting at around $81. But if we were to see a confirmed breakout above this resistance, above $81 with candle closes above that level, then looking at a technical price target for a potential W pattern here for the price of Solana, that would set up a technical price target at around $94 to $95. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's roughly around a 16 to 17% move to the upside here in the price of Solana. But remember, in order to actually activate that technical price target to the upside, we first need to see a confirmed breakout above this resistance, which right now has not yet happened. And remember, even in that scenario, of course, if we break back below that line of resistance, that would invalidate the breakout and invalidate the price target if we break back to the downside. And something similar can be said here for the price of Cardano, ADA, against the US dollar here on the 2-hour chart, which right now is also potentially forming a double bottom pattern, a W pattern. And so once again, in order to confirm this pattern and confirm a technical price target to the upside, we first need to see a confirmed breakout above this line of resistance, which is sitting at around 61 to 62 cents. So ideally seeing a breakout above 62 cents. And if we end up seeing a breakout confirm with candle closes above that level right there, then in that case, looking at the technical price target, that would set up a price target at around 66 to 67 US cents. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking about potentially around an 8% move to the upside if we first confirm a breakout above this short-term resistance. And so basically, there's some potential short-term trades building up here if we see those signals confirm, but right now they have not yet confirmed. These are just potential trades that we could take if we see those signals confirm. And if you want me to cover more altcoins just like this here in these videos, then make sure to comment down below in the comment section your favorite altcoin, and I'll make sure to cover the most popular altcoins first. And in the meantime, if you're wondering how you can profit from choppy sideways price action or bullish or bearish price action, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using longs and shorts, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.